All right, so my name is Michael DeLu. Today is December 24th, 2020. This is episode 49 of PullUpDaTape, and let's just jump right into it, all right? So yesterday featured the first game, the first time this season, I mean, obviously it just started in the NBA, where they had a full slate of games, all right, top to bottom, and there was primetime games, nationally televised games, and then all the rest, all right? So the ones I want to focus on today's podcast are the primetime games because obviously those are the teams with the big names and obviously the players that everybody wants to see every game. So they had very, very, very good primetime matchups this yesterday, and I'm just really excited to get into both of them. So the first one being the Boston Celtics versus the Milwaukee Bucks. All right. So it was a very great game in which we saw the Boston Celtics prevail by 1 point as they won 122 to 121 over the Milwaukee Bucks. And there's so much to unravel when it comes to that game, and like it's just so much good stuff happened. Like a lot of good stuff happened. All right, so first thing, two of the things I want to talk about are Jayson Tatum's three and Giannis's missed free throw. All right, so One thing I will say after watching it, like I watched the game, I watched the second half, I watched the second and third quarter of the game, and then I was a little busy running errands and doing other things at the studio, so wasn't able to actually sit down and watch the whole thing. But from what I saw and what I was able to see, and actually the highlights I watched afterwards, Jayson Tatum has fully embraced shooting from deep, like fully embraced it. Like last year, I think he was taking around 7, 8, 9 threes per game. Last night, he took 13, and he went 6 from 13 from three, including the dagger three that he was able to put in Giannis's face. And a lot of the other threes were great shots. Some of them were in transition. Some of them were off the dribble. Some of them were pull up. And I'm just like, okay, he's really feeling it today. 6 for 13 is pretty good from three. And one thing I will say, even though I was extremely impressed with his performance yesterday, he wasn't able to get to the free throw line. And that's a little discouraging to me. Now, I mean, obviously, I know that's not going to happen often, but somebody of his caliber should be able to get to the free throw line and create contact. And, because honestly, he's a problem for a lot of people to guard. And if you mean to tell me that he went through a whole game without getting fouled and deserving to go to the free throw line, it was either he wasn't being as aggressive as he is capable of, or the refs are fucking stupid. So, and I honestly think it was a bit of both, but regardless, I mean, that's just something I noticed and wanted to point out. One of the things that I also noticed is that Tatum did the majority of his damage in the second half. I think when I was watching the highlights, he hit a shot, and then they said that was his ninth bucket, and that was in the third quarter, and he finished off with 30. So he had around 20-something points in the second half of the game. And that's incredible. That's aligned with what Giannis did. Giannis had about 18 points in the fourth quarter. So definitely it's good to see him not picking back up, because I mean, we already know what Jayson Tatum is capable of. He's 22 years old. At this point, he's going to be a perennial all-star for years to come, and he just needs to take that next step to MVP candidate and just being considered as the top of the top. So. And because of Jayson Tatum's excellent performance in the third quarter specifically, he was heating up. He was hitting three after three, and just like I said, pulling up, off the dribble, just different. It was really in his bag. The Celtics were up by 15 to start the fourth quarter, but that's when Giannis took over. Giannis starts hitting from deep, which was crazy. It was crazy to see that. Like Giannis actually hit a couple threes, because anytime Giannis hits a jump shot, as I was watching the highlights, I see his brother on the sideline, like, smacking the fuck out of the table. I'm like, and I seen him smack the table multiple times because Giannis was actually hitting jump shots. So it was honestly crazy. It was honestly a very, very good game, like back and forth. Like you got playoff vibes from this game, which is crazy because it's the first game of the season for both these teams. But the Bucks go up. One thing I really, really wanted to talk about is this play before. The sequence that led up to Jayson Tatum's three. So the Bucks go up 120 to 119 after Jrue Holiday hit from downtown, right? So the next possession, Tatum is at the top of the key, and he has Chris Middleton guarding him. So he dribbles left and gets past Chris Middleton. But Giannis rotates over and does enough to alter the shot. The Bucks get the rebound. Well, actually, not the Bucks get the rebound. Giannis gets the rebound, swings it to Dante DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo advances the ball up the court, and he's trying to go for a layup. And Jeff Teague makes a great play, stripping DiVincenzo and causing the ball to go off his lower body, which then gives the Celtics the ball. So then on the next possession, Jayson Tatum banks it in over Giannis and essentially games it. And the reason why I brought that up is because it showed me two things. That whole sequence showed me two things, and even the play before that. One, the Bucks upgraded by getting rid of Eric Bledsoe. That's one. Two, Marcus Teague, I feel like can win Sixth Man of the Year or be a finalist for Sixth Man of the Year. The way he played yesterday was incredible. But to get back into Giannis, he played amazing, especially in the fourth quarter. Like, honestly, he played incredible, especially in the fourth quarter. And something that's important to note is he didn't, he went six up until the free throw that he missed. He went 6 or 7 from the field, but unfortunately for him, he only missed one, and the second one that he missed was the most important free throw of the game. And now, it kind of begs the question that, in the playoffs when every possession matters, is Giannis going to blow a game smoking fucking free throws? Because I literally watched this play happen. It literally seemed like the refs gifted him a chance to force OT. Like, it was crazy. I honestly didn't see any foul, but hey, I guess the refs saw one. But either way, what a shot by Jayson Tatum, man. I mean, I'm also give my real truth to that. And it's crazy to see the refs try to give the Bucks a win, but Giannis blew it. Other than that, great game overall. And one of the things I will say is it's great that's a very, very good win for the Celtics, and that's without Kemba Walker. So, wow, this is really crazy. Jayson Tatum, I'm gonna go through the stat line. Jayson Tatum, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Jaylen Brown, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Jaylen Brown played lights out. Lights out. He in the fourth quarter when the Bucks were rallying back, he was the one he was hitting tough contested jumpers. Tough jumpers over Pat Connaughton, Chris Middleton, tough jumpers. Like really, really tough jumpers. Jeff Teague, 19 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Jeff Teague is going to play an integral part in this team, man. Like I said, I think Jeff Teague can win Sixth Man of the Year. That's how good he is. That's how special he is. And it was really good to see him play at a high level yesterday. Straight up. Daniel Tice, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Tristan Thompson, 12 points, 8 rebounds. And yeah, honestly, very solid game all around from the Celtics. And the truth that I wanted to speak about Jayson Tatum's shot is, come on now, let's be realistic with ourselves. Jayson Tatum was not trying to bank that shot. That shot went in luckily. It went in, but he was not trying to bank that shot. He was for sure not trying to do that. He missed it so bad that it banked in. He missed it so bad that he banked in. I don't want to but a lot of people are going to spin this narrative that these are the moments that he's advancing to the next tier of NBA player, which at the end of the day he already is regardless, because we could see him getting better and better every single season, like better and better. But my thing is he didn't purposely try to bank that in, but regardless of whether he tried to bank that in or not, it's going to do a lot for his confidence, and because he was able to hit a game-winning shot over the reigning defensive player of the year and the 2-time MVP. So, I mean, I'm 22 and I busted his ass. Oh, nobody can tell me anything. Giannis, 35 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. Chris Middleton, 27 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. Chris Middleton was almost flirted with a triple-double, 2 assists away from a triple-double. Drew Holiday, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Again, big upgrade from Eric Bledsoe. Big upgrade from Eric Bledsoe. Fits more into their system, into their scheme, and he just a better all around player, and he proved it yesterday. The three that he hit late in the game that gave them the lead right before Jayson Tatum, right before they gave them the lead that they eventually just lost. Big shot. You can count on him. Jrue Holiday is a bucket. He's clutch as fuck, and man, they really hit the jackpot by picking him up. Dante DiVincenzo, solid game, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. As we're looking at the stats, it was pretty evident why the Celtics won. You know, they just went nuts from 3. They shot 40% from 3 and had over 40 attempts. Do the math. That's incredible. And, yeah, it's honestly very, very good game. Shout out to the Celtics for getting it done. It says a lot about the Celtics as a team that they were able to get this done without Kemba Walker. And everybody knows that he's a big part of what they do in their team. So to see them get that win, see Jayson Tatum ball, Jaylen Brown ball, those two dudes are studs. Man, those two dudes are studs. One of them is 23, the other one's 22. Come on, man. That's incredible. That's incredible. Shout out to Danny Ainge, man. He knows what he's doing up there. So the next game, the Suns versus the Mavericks. You know, a lot has been talked about the Suns and the Mavericks. You know, a lot has been talked about this. I think the Suns were one of the hotter teams to talk about this offseason, and you know, it seems like the right thing and the sexy pick to anoint the Suns a playoff team. But obviously, you know, we still have to see them go out there and prove it. But the Suns honestly finish off where they left off. The only team to go 8-0 in the bubble, which led to everyone thinking that, okay, this team has a lot of promise and honestly could go somewhere in the future. Devin Booker, still young, under 25. Mikal Bridges, young, under 25. DeAndre Ayton, young, under 25. This is third year in the league. Cameron Johnson, young, under 25. Second year in the league. They have a lot of young talent. And it seemed like they got it to come together when they got to the bubble. They were, like I said, they were only team to make it to go undefeated in the playoffs. In the bubble. I really wanted them to make it to the playoffs, but unfortunately it didn't work out like that. And we were all just left with a bunch of optimism. And, okay, what we think this team could be in the future. Then now they have a comparable coach. They have a decent GM who's getting the right players that need to be in the system and need to be in Phoenix because, you know, obviously we all know that Phoenix has, just like the Lakers have had sucked for the last 10 years, Phoenix had sucked for the last 10 years too. The last time Phoenix went to the playoffs was when they played Kobe's Lakers in the Western Conference Finals in 2010. So Phoenix has suffered just like the Lakers have. All right. But to get into the game, very good game, honestly, very good game. Phoenix wins 106-102. Get the first win of the season. Chris Paul, I mean, and the fact that they were able to win this game and Chris Paul didn't even play, like, I wouldn't say great, but, you know, he didn't play great. 8 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Not sexy at all. Devin Booker, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Mikal Bridges, 18 points, 7 rebounds. Cameron Johnson, 15 points, 5 rebounds. Cameron Payne, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. DeAndre Ayton, 13 points and 8 boards. Great team win, and, you know, in the end, it was a Devin Booker shot and Chris Paul's steal that sealed the victory for them. Great team win, honestly. This is against a team in Dallas who, honestly, they didn't play the sexiest today at all in any way, shape, or form. They also don't have Kristaps Porzingis, which I know that makes a big difference. Which, you know, if they had him, I think they would have. Like I've said this multiple times, I think they would have actually beat the Clippers in the playoffs, but I mean, hey, what do I know? Luka Doncic wasn't really impressed by his performance yesterday. He had 32 points and 8 rebounds and 5 assists, but if you watch the game, he struggled for the majority of the game, especially from 3. He didn't hit a 3 at all. At all. Didn't hit a 3 at all. Let me go to it. Let me check exactly what. So Luka went, yikes, 0 for 6 from 3. That is not Luka Doncic like at all. He had 32 points. He was able to get to the free throw line 12 times, hitting 10, and he shot 11 for 26 on the field. Not the best game ever, but he actually had a minus 9 in net efficiency, which is crazy because that doesn't happen too often. Dorian Finney-Smith, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Tim Hardaway Jr., 12 points, 4 rebounds. Josh Richardson, 12 points, 7 rebounds. Jalen Brunson, 12 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Good game, honestly, regardless of whether, I mean, obviously, the Suns only won by 4 points, so obviously it was a tightly contested game. It was close down the stretch, close the whole way. And, I mean, with nationally televised games, that's all you can really ask for, is it to be a competitive game amongst two teams that are really good. Not really good, but amongst two teams that have playoff aspirations, which, you know, these two teams are. So I definitely don't see, I don't know exactly how well the Mavericks are going to be and how long Kristaps Porzingis is going to be out, but they're definitely going to need him if they're going to make any sort of noise. Like this game proved it all that Luka can't do it by himself. I mean, he can do it by himself against certain teams, but definitely if Luka struggles, this team doesn't. Like if Luka struggles and doesn't get any help from the bench or, you know, the other players, like for example, Josh Richardson, he was brought to replace Steph Curry. He didn't play too hot yesterday. And that type of performance cannot continue. He didn't play too hot yesterday. Jalen Brunson played pretty good. Tim Hardaway Jr. need more from him. Dorian Finney-Smith need more from him. Maxi Kleber, he played pretty decent. Like, I mean, the Dallas has a good team, but man, if everything rides on Porzingis being able to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, they can make noise. They could probably make it to the second round of the playoffs. If he doesn't, same thing's going to happen again this year. They're getting bounced out the first round. And if Porzingis continues to get hurt, and because it seems to be something with this dude at all times, Dallas should look into signing somebody else and maybe making him the third, you know, star or something like that. Or because. Yeah, I mean, it just only makes sense. I mean, you pay the dude to play, and if he's not playing every single day, not every single day, but the majority of the games, and constantly picking up injuries at the most important and crucial parts of the season, you should look into upgrading at that point. And the last thing I want to talk about is PSG. So Paris Saint-Germain, it was just reported that a couple hours ago, sacked Thomas Tuchel and are hiring Mauricio Pochettino. So they sacked Thomas Tuchel and are hiring the former Tottenham boss, and he's set to replace him. And this is reported by ESPN. Pochettino has been out of work since being sacked by Spurs November of 2019 after their slow start, and this is 5 years. This is after 5 years that he was in charge of the London club, which honestly. The North London club, which honestly, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm a Chelsea fan, and I don't hate Tottenham, but I will be honest. In the 5 years that he was there, that's the most success that club ever experienced, and it was a little weird to see them part ways with him after 5 months prior to that. He just took them to the Champions League final. It's weird. Sports can be a very cruel place, especially soccer. Soccer is unforgiving. The Argentine boss spent 2 years at PSG during his playing career, where he won the UEFA Intertoto Cup in 2001. Thomas Tuchel paid the price for a slow start in Ligue 1, where PSG have 4 defeats in their first 17 games and are a point behind Lyon, the leaders, and Lille. All right, so 47-year-old departs after a 4-0 home win over Strasbourg, which happened yesterday, which is crazy. That's why it's funny because on my way to the studio to record the podcast, I saw that the PSG won 4-0. I was like, oh, they played a great game. And then before I even get to the studio, I get the that they sacked their manager. I'm just like, oh, well, that was surprising. I mean, from the outside looking in, that's surprising. But apparently from these reports, it wasn't actually surprising, because it states that PSG's director, Leonardo, first sounded off with Pochettino and met with some of his representatives earlier last week because he was interested in bringing him in to coach the team. And sources also told that Tuchel was expected to be sacked regardless of the fact that, you know, he was liked by a lot of the players in the locker room, by Neymar, Mbappe, all the players liked him. Like, he was a likable dude. Like, you know, he was a very good dude. But yeah, apparently the directors at PSG felt like, you know, they need to move in a different direction. And, you know, Tuchel had held meetings with club president Nasir Al-Khelafi and sporting director Leonardo, and it was decided that last week that he was just going to replace him. I mean, because apparently there was like some tension between the two individuals, and the lack of, you know, I don't know. I guess he didn't enjoy their playing style anymore or something like that. But, yeah, unfortunately, it's unfortunate that had to happen. But, you know, that's the nature of sports. You never know when it's time for you to get up out of there. And this is an example. You know, we just seen him literally win a game, 4-0, convincing fashion. He loses his job the next day. That's going to conclude today's episode. Thank you for everybody who continues to support me, man. I really do appreciate it, man. This is a journey that I'm never going to stop until I get to the top, all right? That being said, continue to support me. Continue to support this podcast. Follow this podcast on Instagram. Pull up the tape. Follow us on Twitter at PullUpDaTape. Follow me on Instagram, Viral Movie Favi. Shake the room. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to all the lost soldiers we lost this year. I continue to do this for you all. Yeah, Viral Movie Favi. Bow.